So yeah, this is what happens when I air dry my hair. It's like automatically like freaking curly, which is totally fine. But yeah, I am completely big. Okay, so hi. Now you guys get to see my face, and it's been what? An hour and 15 minutes of us having super, super fun. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say, right, is we recognize this picture, right? I feel like my camera is like so up. We recognize this picture. We have Tony Khan and we have um, Tanahashi. And I honestly want the partnership to be done with because the partnership is not helpful. Um, for some reason, I would like to. I can't draw on this. I can't draw on this. I love you guys. Um, Tanahashi got his hair like an extra from MTV in 2004. Oh my god, man! Like the what? Okay, so the reason why I have this picture up is because uh, Tony Khan is the CEO and he owns AEW, as we all know. He even won some awards by Uncle Dave that I don't think it's necessary. And I think it's one-sided and is also a blind spot. But Tony Khan is the CEO and boss and everything under the sun for AEW. Right next to him is Tanahashi. He is the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That he got to be president just this year. It should be just this year. And so far, I want to say this though. At the last New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view in Japan where Zack Sabre Jr. became our IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, in the same pay-per-view, Tanahashi also said that he is going to retire next year. And I put on, no, I'm sorry, not next year, 2026. I wish it was next year, but no. He is going to retire, and I say he, I mean Tanahashi. Tanahashi's going to retire in 2026. And I put on social media that it is too late. It might end up being too late because New Japan right now needs a president more than they need an active wrestler that has a job as the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Because when you are a wrestler, you can't really see or understand or have enough time to address the problems and concerns of your roster. That is both in the United States and also in Japan itself. So, like, why would he announce it so early? Is it 2026 or is it 2025? Because, man, I Tanahashi, like, I love you, dude, man. Like, I respect the hell out of you, but I do think that the retirement needs to be a little bit early. I should, like, check this, because it should be, like, 2026. Yeah, he said that he's going to end his in-ring career in 2026, and I said that it's going to be too late. Because the damage is still continuing, and he, like I said, he needs to be present for a lot of things, and I just don't think that like announcing the retirement at 2026 is going to be one of those things. So that's the foundation. Tony Khan with the AEW microphone owns AEW, started in 2019 by way of Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kenny Omega, and then Cody Rhodes came in a little bit later. 2019, like I said, I am a day one AEW fan, but now the vision is lost. The vision was change the world, and they totally forgot what the vision was. And you have guys who never really done corporate stuff, guys who never understood the big positions of companies. And while yes, no one wants to like I don't know how to explain it, but like no one really wants corporate to like really be breathing down people's necks or try to like micromanage, or like the bad side of corporate makes people lose their feeling for their love of professional wrestling, and it has happened before in the past. But you need to go through those ordeals in order to understand how to run a company, and nobody knows how to do that. The only person close enough was Cody Rhodes, but Tony Khan and the Elite ran off Cody Rhodes and Brandy, and they're running off a lot of people. And the saddest part is that no one takes accountability for this to turn a new leaf and be better. Tanahashi has a lot. Excuse me. Tanahashi has like a lot to fill in as being the current president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. But again, retiring in 2026 is not going to benefit anything, especially when he is still active as a wrestler. And he still wants to win championship titles and wants to try to put young guys over, but it's not really working. This is why if he retired next year, it'd be totally fine. Listen, Evil is having a match with Tanahashi for... damn, I'm thirsty here. So Tanahashi's gonna be facing Evil, I believe, for the Tokyo Dome. To where I believe, like I said, Evil is fighting Tanahashi at the Tokyo Dome, and I think that would have been the place for him to retire. Because you can't really be active and like still run a company and not hear the frustrations of the roster. AEW is what happens when you let workers be the bosses. Yes, exactly. AEW stuck in indie booking. TK doesn't understand the difference between booking for TV and booking for a house show, which is what indies are. Which I like that, because for most of the time, I don't really consider house shows to be similar to what the indies are, just because I've been to so many indie shows, and I've been like on the front lines of it. But I could definitely like understand where that's coming from. But yeah, it's totally different. But then again, the experience. Nobody in AEW has experience in this field. They created the company because of money. Like I said, money runs the world. Money rules over everything. If you have money, you could create whatever the fuck you want to create and like be okay with it. And this is exactly what AEW is. AEW is the money that creates things. It gives people's jobs. I get that. People have jobs now, but people are frustrated, you know, with the AEW booking, with the Tony Khan booking, with the Elite booking themselves over to be strong and always carrying the tag team titles, and then all of a sudden gave it to Private Party this past like weekend, and it's like 5 years too late, AEW, to give Private Party their first AEW tag team championship titles. Like, it's about the experience. They don't have experience in booking television. They don't have the experience in booking matches for televisions, you know. So yeah. Cody had experience, but he left because he saw the writing on the wall. Yep. And once he left, we were all like, oh, you know, something bad is happening. Cody only keeps his mouth shut to protect his friends and out of respect for the business of pro wrestling, which is true. However, he did sort of like, I don't know if he did sort of switch up on like his answer for why, like, you know, Brandy left and he left, but he did say some really like telling stuff about the Bucks and Kenny, and how like I guess they didn't see eye to eye, and I think it was just an ideology thing. Or as others have said, AEW only needs to keep one person happy, which is Tony Khan. Yeah. just so the Bucks could turn around in the middle of their own takeover angle and be the savior supposedly when they return. Honestly, Uncle Dave revealing stuff or just talking or speculating or telling people his fantasy booking is what really is messing up AEW and like the wrestling industry as a whole. Because like I could sit here and like fantasy book with you guys, but I will say, yo, it's fantasy booking. It's not like me telling you this is the gospel of Marie Shadows of like what she wants. Which I should go over that. Oh my God. I should go over the tweet that like this guy thought that because AEW wasn't booking Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay and Mark Davis how I wanted it to be booked, that he's like, oh, sorry, your fantasy booking, didn't come true. Man. And he blocked me after that because I was just like, bro, this has nothing to do with booking. This has nothing to do with storytelling for what's going on. It has everything to do with like the phrasing of like how AEW structures and presents the story. Phrasing is like important. Anyway, because I got off on a little tangent, but I think I should cover that. It's one of those things of like, Uncle Dave saying this stuff and they're taking it as the gospel of Uncle Dave, when in reality it's like it's just him speculating. It's not even gonna happen. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if I were to do it, I would make sure everybody knows that it is just fantasy booking. Like how cool, like earlier we were fantasy booking the G1. Like how cool would it be to have Braun Breaker in the G1 or have like Cody Rhodes back in the G1 or any of those other guys, even the younger guys, So yeah, I think that Uncle Dave and all the rest of the dirt sheets that want people to believe that their word is gospel is messing up like the wrestling industry and how we as content creators create wrestling stuff. Oh, uh, okay. See, Rob's over here got me like okay, listen. Yes, I'm going to agree that like maybe it wasn't fantasy booking, but if I have to say like imagine this, imagine that, I consider it fantasy booking. But I'll take that. I'll take that too, dude. My word ain't gospel, but it might make you say hallelujah. I guess, right? I can see that happening. And look at Cody at the tippy top of the industry, and AEW is struggling to fill seats. They should have listened to Cody. But then again, Cody also like capped himself at AEW by putting those stupid stipulations where he wasn't gonna win the AEW title. Like, man, okay. Let's move to a different picture. The only reason why I am putting this picture, this is of Yoda Tsuji, who is part of LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón, which to me, to my ears, it sounded like I fucked it up. But basically it just means the ungovernable of Japan. But he is part of LIJ. When he came back from Excursion, he was on a really hot momentum streak that New Japan Pro Wrestling had like extinguished. And now he has to work his way back up to basically being the top. Him holding this IWGP Championship title belt was because Sonata was champion at the time, and they were going with the story that maybe somebody from Excursion can end up getting the championship title quickly. This is very reminiscent to Jay White. Jay White did the same thing when he came back from Excursion. While yes, he ended up getting like, I believe, the IC title before the IC title became nothing anymore. But he was still one of the guys from Excursion to get the championship title, the IWGP championship title the first time around when he first came back. So I was like, yo, they should do this with Tsuji. But now we have to play catch up again. Okay. Cody should have been AW champion, and they really did mess up with that big stipulation. Yeah, Cody is sweating and any of that anymore. Just over in Saudi putting on matches with Gunther on the top. Yeah, and then Cody Rhodes flew out for like a what was it, a 4 a.m. flight to the UK to do some house shows. Okay, I just want to put Suji in there because I love Suji. So this is the Great Khan holding up the United Empire flag. And the United Empire was very instrumental during COVID and past COVID, and was really, amazing. Really amazing team. Still an amazing team. This is the Great Khan. I do have a video with this exact picture talking about the Great Khan when he was has some Twitter talking points about how to better save New Japan Pro Wrestling. I gave my opinions on that because while not everything was a bad idea, it's just that for someone like the Great Khan that likes to be very luxurious and likes to spend a lot of money and definitely like takes pictures of how much yen he spends on all the girls that he takes out, whether or not like it's on like official dates or sponsorship dates or something like that, but he's always like on a date with some girl, or treating the United Empire members to like really fancy lavish dinners. Like you will see how much yen he pays for like all this stuff, and all the gifts that he gets. So with someone like that mentality, they're not going to understand from someone who doesn't get that treatment why that wouldn't really be a good idea for some of his points that he was making. So I like just did like, hey, think about it this way. Think about it the other way, because not everyone has the luxury to spend the amount of like yen he was spending. I can't tell if he's black or Japanese. Suji? Is that who you're talking about? Cody does bring that ambassador aura that WWE is putting to work, and TK is sorely missing across his media platforms. He is. Cody wasn't afraid to get out there and talk up their company 24/7. That's true. Yeah, whoever is on the screen with you. So currently is the Great Khan. He plays a character of him being that he's Mongol, but he's not. But it works. And I'm not sure if I should have said that, but we kind of figured he might be half and half in real life. Like he might be like half Mongol and half like Japanese, just because. But no, he is. I would think he's Japanese, but I also think he's half like Mongol because, man, it looks really good. He looks like it. So yeah, the Great Khan, but no, he's not black. I actually thought you were talking about like Suji. Okay. By the way, a side note, you see this championship title belt? I wanted to use the championship title belt to put the names of like everybody that either like donates to me and put it like on a wall as like dedication. But yeah, that's just an idea. Use this blank championship title for that as a wall of recognition, and then like all the supporters on there, just so you know. But I haven't gotten around to like actually like doing it and following through with it. Okay. This is one of my favorite pictures of all the pictures that I have of the United Empire. Because again, I am attached. I am attached to the United Empire. I really am. And these guys like did very, very, very well. These guys created a team of different ethnicities and different like ideologies, even though that really has nothing to do with the conversation, but like different backgrounds, so like ethnic stuff and just different walks of life. that came together and basically created a really good faction that have really good upstanding beliefs and morals in wrestling and want to put on good shows while also telling good stories. Some of the stories in the history of the United Empire, there's only like one, and that was heading towards Will Ospreay leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it was just one stupid story that I did not like to cover, and I'm probably gonna have to touch on it anyway because it's part of the history. So basically, this was around the time. In retrospect, would you consider this your favorite faction? Yes. Yes. They are still my favorite faction. And I will always be an advocate for the United Empire, even if like now it doesn't feel as strong as they once did. But like the guys that are still in New Japan, it's just about finding their momentum again. Listen, the reason why like I get so passionate about this is because again, wrong decisions were made when it felt like the right decisions were being made until Kyle Fletcher decided to jump ship, and by proxy goes Mark Davis. And then also Will Ospreay saying live on AEW that, you know, he's going to sign his AEW contract and didn't know that he could do that while still under New Japan Pro Wrestling. And then that's why the ending of his goodbye tour with New Japan Pro Wrestling, it was sort of like he was in the doghouse. And it's like, bro, you don't do that shit. You don't do that shit. Even if the lawyer is like, yeah, you could do it. It's totally fine. Like, everybody does it. No. Anyway, so, excuse me. Yeah, so, and by the way, this is not the complete United Empire. There, like I said, there are two members from this picture that is missing. These pictures were taken around Christmas time. Well, I think a little bit before Christmas time of like maybe 2022 or 2020. Yeah, like 2022, 2023, something like that. Everything surrounding Aussie Open and then Ospreay going to AEW could have been handled so much better. For one thing, Gideon should have been with Ospreay and Aussie Open. They never called Callis. They never needed Callis. Exactly. Okay, so since you guys cannot see my you know what I'm gonna do? Can I give me a second here, guys? I am going to try something because I need to like circle stuff. I need to draw on this picture. My brain is like, use Microsoft Paint. Like, I haven't used Paint in forever. This is going to be... But yeah, I seriously need to like draw on this so that way you guys can understand. And then for those that are gonna listen to this via what do you call it, audio, I'm gonna try my very, very best to basically describe each and every one of these guys the way that it should be. Okay, let me just, where is... Because now we're going to get into the history of this. Let me know how that looks on stream. See, that's exactly why like I need to draw on it, because MD is all like, that bald dude on the left looks like he needs a nap badly. And then thank you, G Coalition, for being like, oh, that's a Gideon Grace. So like, I need to draw on this so that way I could be like, this is this person, this is this is this. Okay. Man, I have not had lunch at all, but that's That's just me randomly talking here. Okay, so do I want to go with brushes or do I want to go with a pen? I want to go with a pen. What is this? This is a pen. Okay, that's not. Okay, maybe let's do marker. So if I would, oh, okay, that's not. um, okay, how does this look, guys? Okay, I could just see it back here. It looks great. By the way, guys, if you're getting value from any of this stream, any part of this stream, make sure to hit that like button right here on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. Because we're about to get educational. If you want to tweet it out, send it out, and whatnot, bring a friend in, by all means, go ahead. So as you can see, this is the United Empire minus 2 people that are not here. This guy, we all know him as Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay, as much as he does not want the credit for creating the United Empire, he is the leader of the United Empire. Okay? You have to give him his flowers for creating the United Empire. Will Ospreay knew that at a really dark time in our history of like COVID and all of that, and all of us trying to like get out of it, and we got out of it, he started to look around for like wrestlers that could like join him. Like, he's a very giving guy. He's a very caring guy. Sometimes, you know, he might get into his feelings and like talk from the heart and like say some shit, you know, and basically like wear his heart on his sleeve. He does this. But for this, he wanted to bring in people that he knew that were good for the United Empire, because it's united. Even though Will Ospreay is from the UK, you know, we'll get into all the ethnicities and stuff like that. MD, stop it. I don't know. I don't know if I were to count B Priestley as part of. I mean, she was like with Ospreay at the time, so like, I guess you know, we could count her into the United Empire. But she was very like instrumental too to like when Ospreay was fighting Shingo, I believe. Yeah, I did want to laugh at that, MD, but seriously, man, like, yeah. But yeah, 2 people are not there. So Ospreay started United Empire. Ospreay obviously, let's see, hold on. Do I remember who he brought in first? I don't remember who he brought in first. I want to say that he brought in the Great Khan. He also brought in Jeff Cobb as like the first 2. The Great Khan is a damn good wrestler, man. The Great Khan does this cool thing where like depending on if he is in a tag team, he will wear long pants, I believe. And then if he's not in a tag team, he'll wear like the wrestler shorts. But he's a very good wrestler. Okay. Got it. See, thank you, G Coalition. So it started with Ospreay, B Priestley at the time. Then they brought in the Great Khan, and then they brought in Jeff Cobb. See, I didn't know which one was first. I didn't know if it was Jeff Cobb or the Great Khan. I felt like it was the Great Khan. And then the mystery partner X is we'll get to him in a moment. Can you wear short pants? That's kind of an oxymoron. No, that's not an oxymoron. I mean, we think of pants as being like long pants, but like until you get specific, it's not really an oxymoron, dude. Tag League, yeah. Um, so yeah, the Great Okan does that. The Great Okan is like actually like a really good like wrestler. The only thing that I don't like is that the Great Okan has that baby blue King of Pro Wrestling Championship title, and I'm like, bro, get rid of that shit. He is currently going to be fighting a Stardom talent at the NJPW X Stardom event later this month. If YouTube has shorts, are they longer video pants? I swear, MD. But that's a pretty good one. Jeff Cobb, as you know, is the muscle behind the United Empire. He is the tank, and he is fantastic. I did not like the fact that he had to lose to Zack Sabre Jr. on different occasions when Zack Sabre Jr. was the NJPW World TV Champion, which basically just means that like it's a 15-minute match. It is only dedicated for the NJPW World website, which you should get a subscription to help them out. But Jeff Cobb, man, he's a beast. Jeff Cobb needs his freaking flowers, and Jeff Cobb needs to be at the top of the food chain, man. Like, enough is enough to like let him drown in like what they're doing with him. Now the mystery partner X was this. Oh, I made it too big. Was this guy right here, Aaron Henare, which I love to death. Like, I love that guy. Aaron Henare is not everyone's cup of tea. And if he is not your cup of tea, that's totally okay. You don't have to bring hate over here. You don't have to do that. We can agree to disagree, but Aaron Henare is very special to be in the world of professional wrestling, and I am happy that he is in the world of professional wrestling. And he was the mystery partner X. So what happened was that before Aaron Henare became Aaron Henare, he was Toa Henare, and he was under the tutelage of Hantai. And Hantai, if you're under the tutelage of Hantai, you definitely become like the cookie cutter, good baby face kind of guy. And it was sort of working, not really working, and it was like really cringe. He wasn't really getting a reaction under Toa Henare and under the tutelage of Tanahashi and Hantai, and it didn't really work out. And if you ever wonder why he has such a disdain for like Tanahashi and Hantai, is because they could have essentially ruined his career. Just because it wasn't like his true authentic self, even though like he loves to represent his Maori culture. He loves to represent like everything New Zealand, everything Maori, and you know, stuff that goes on like in his life. And they gave him the chance to do it, but they did it in the way that you could think of how when The Rock came out and he was Rocky Maivia. And the fans were like, boo, no, you know, we don't want this Rock. Like, who is this guy? And then when The Rock was given the opportunity to tell people off, that is when it switched and he became The Rock as we know him as. And very similar, this is what happened with Aaron Henare. So I covered this. It's in my back catalog. It was during the New Japan Cup when Aaron Henare was still under Toa Henare, and he fought against Jay White. Jay White beat him. And I remember the promo that he cut. And I commented on the promo, and I commented on his work ethic, and I commented on his match, and basically he actually heard what I said, and he thanked me for it, and and now he basically is in the United Empire because after the promo and talking about like all the pent up feelings that he had and mentioned his dad and stuff like that and like personal shit that he was going through, he did punch the wall during that promo that was backstage, and Ospreay saw this, and Ospreay went to Aaron Henare, Toa Henare at the time, and offered him a spot on the United Empire, and then later on became like, you know, he's the ex-mystery guy, and I basically titled my next podcast episode, X Gonna Give It To Ya, because New Japan loves being like, oh, this is mystery partner X. And who's mystery partner X? And it comes out to be a brand new version of Aaron Henare, which, by the way, Jeff Cobb is the tank of the United Empire. Aaron Henare is the muscle behind the United Empire. And this guy almost like freaking died too in the wrestling ring. But the ancestors were with him, so I'm happy that he's still here. But yes, after all of that, that's when he got brought into the United Empire as Weapon X. So my podcast episode, like I said, was called X Gonna Give It to You. Anyway, I hope New Japan isn't going to wait too late to elevate Cobb too slowly, the same way they did with Tama Tonga. This is why I say Jeff Cobb needs his flowers, because, man, I know this guy is frustrated, even though I have yet to ask him, but like the way he responds on social media, the way that he gets ignored on social media when he should be in AEW doing some like crossover of AEW and New Japan storytelling. It's just, I just think that Cobb is so frustrated. So frustrated. And yeah, according to G Coalition, because he's my buddy here for this, next time I'll have him on to like if we need to talk about more about this stuff. But Jeff Cobb was definitely instrumental in bringing Henare in. You know, he definitely was. They need to close the forbidden door for a while. For years, they need to do that. So, I'm probably going to need G Coalition to help me out for the next one. Just because right after Henare gets brought in, we do the World Tag League. I believe we do World Tag League. Or we do Super Junior. Because I know Aussie Open, the two guys you see in the back, Kyle Fletcher, the one with hair, and Mark Davis, the one that still has hair, they got brought in for World Tag League. Akira and TJP got brought in because of the Junior Tag League and also the Junior Division, because they're very good. And then Gideon Gray got brought in to be the mastermind, the guy that has so much money in the world that he brought everybody together to form the United Empire, and he is the true mastermind behind the United Empire. And the reason why they brought in Gideon Gray is not only a wrestler, but he's also a good manager. He is so good that I'm like, where the fuck has he been? He was brought in because Ospreay did not want the flowers for creating a faction that really helped elevate New Japan Pro Wrestling, help elevate these guys, and also help elevate like New Japan itself. Yeah, they had TJP out there. Like, yeah, dude. Yes, let me also mention this too, that Gideon's nickname is literally the orchestrator. Thanks G Coalition for reminding me about that. But yeah, that was his thing. MD, I know you don't watch New Japan, and I know you're here to support me, and I appreciate you for everything that you do in the chat, okay? But like, you know, I mean, I don't know, man. It just sounded like TJP, they had Perkins out there. Like, yeah, dude, like the United Empire. He's part of it. He also showed up at MLW, and I was honored to watch his match for the second time that he came back to MLW, and then helped him out to let him know like where his friends were. So like, that's cool. Next time I'll pick his brain on some stuff, but for the time being, like, that's my only interaction with TJP. Anyway, so this guy right here, the one that's bald, is Gideon Gray, the manager, the orchestrator of the United Empire. And like I said, he was brought in because he is the orchestrator, and Will Ospreay did not really want to take any flowers or any responsibility or any of the stuff like that, for being the guy to put everyone together, because in the United Empire, there is no leaders. That was and that still is the running tagline, that there are no leaders in the United Empire. That's why it felt different. But it felt like everybody was on the same page. TJP, Akira Francesco, these guys are damn good as Catch 2-2. That is their tag team name for the junior division. Catch 2-2 are damn good. And Akira reignited more passion and more fire for TJP, for them to have some really good tag team moves. And they were dominating the junior tag team division. And it is so, man, it's so great. I was like, yo, I am reinvigorated to watch and to see how they grow in New Japan Pro Wrestling because of these two versus Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney and Kevin Knight and Kushida and who's the other ones? They are really good against Chris Bay and Ace Austin, because I think they fought them before. They're phenomenal. They're a really good add to the United Empire. Now, the two guys in the back, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis are Aussie Open. They have always been known as Aussie Open. Obviously, Will Ospreay is a huge fan of theirs, and definitely Ospreay is personal friends with both Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. And Will Ospreay is very instrumental into bringing in Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher into the United Empire, and everybody was ecstatic about it because New Japan allowed more new players to come in and for the group. And I can tell you 100% that when Aussie Open came into New Japan Pro Wrestling and they were doing the tours on everywhere on Japan, right? Everywhere on the island, they were doing tours. Everybody was cheering for Aussie Open. Every Japanese fan was a fan of Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. You got to know who these two guys are. You got to know and understand how they worked as a team, how they worked as a unit. And they were really great in World Tag League. There's a really great match between Will Ospreay and Mark Davis that I covered. And their one-on-one match was phenomenal. Like, I really enjoy watching it. And it showed that Mark Davis can be a single star. The same way that Kyle Fletcher could be a single star. And we know that it is public knowledge that Will Ospreay had at one point said that he tried so hard to get New Japan Pro Wrestling to sign Aussie Open, meaning Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. But I don't know how those conversations went between Ospreay and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But at the time, New Japan Pro Wrestling was holding back on signing certain wrestlers to their roster full time. So whether it was bad timing, whether it was taking too long, whether it was empty promises, obviously they were getting more opportunities elsewhere because whoever books them, you go and take the booking because you don't want to lose money for whatever you might need. But to just jump ship after everything that New Japan has given them a platform for kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, the way that it happened. And it's sort of one of those things of like, I get that probably Kyle was more scared because most wrestlers don't want to keep living out of a suitcase, which is totally fine. I understand that. Nobody really wants to live out of a suitcase. But At the same time, there are many different avenues of streams and skills that you can learn until you get that big bag from wherever you want. But the first person that throws money at your feet is the first place that you're going to go to. And then this is where we're at with AEW and not understanding the history and basically like, destroying shit. It just destroys shit. It really does. Because everybody knows that Aussie Open has always been Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. Now, when Mark Davis got injured, he got injured on his knee. Where, I don't know, I think it was like maybe the ACL, MCL. It's one of the very knee injuries that almost everybody gets in wrestling. And basically, like, he got injured. He was out for 2 years. My main issue is that if AEW knew that they were going to be doing a betrayal storyline between Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, why not have Mark Davis, if he's going to be returning, why not have him make a video on social media about how disgusted he is with Kyle and doesn't recognize the brother that he once called a brother for Aussie Open, because they were Aussie Open before they joined the United Empire. So why not make a social media video saying that he is disgusted with the way that Kyle has turned out to be, and that he'll see him in like 2 weeks, so that way you can prepare the audience to remember who Mark Davis is. Because for the past 2 years, Kyle Fletcher has been doing his own thing. Yes, he reunited with Ospreay, but that does not mean that he reunited with the United Empire. There has been no fundamental foundation established if the United Empire is still going to be in AEW. However, as I say that, because the night of Kyle Fletcher jumping ship, grabbing the microphone, telling the story, and saying that they have signed with AEW and nobody in the group knew this was going to happen. I know that for a fact. Nobody in the group knew that this was going to happen. The Great Khan automatically had to go online and save face by saying that, oh, don't worry, guys. Don't worry, wrestling fans. The United Empire is just expanding into other territories, into other promotions. When someone like me and other true New Japan fans know that it's utter bullshit, but we have to play along with the kayfabe that the Great Khan had tweeted that out, because they had to save face. Because again, nobody had a conversation about this, and to me, it just felt like he jumped ship because he was worried. And I get that. You could be worried as a wrestler. You could be worried as a regular person. You could be worried as a 9-to-5, or working person, right? But there are ways to sort of like talk through that worriness and not be as worried and then mess everything up. So that is what happened. And that is what I don't like about AEW, is that they want to try and latch on to New Japan Pro Wrestling, try to start something that is not there and try to force it to work and try to rewrite history by saying that Ospreay is selfish, by saying that Ospreay didn't care, that Ospreay only wanted them to boost himself up. And that's not even the fucking case. There might be like little instances here and there where like Ospreay's ego might like, come into play, but like selfishness, no. He got Gideon Gray to be the orchestrator and to tell the fans, oh no, he's the one that is behind everything. Not me. It's not me, guys. It's Gideon Gray. What selfish person or narcissistic person would do that for a group like the United Empire? Huh? And, so yeah, thank you guys for bringing me up to 14 likes on this live stream. I hope that, you guys are learning something from this. If you are, let me know in chat, and hit that like button, send it out, share it out. But yeah, G Coalition comes in with, United Empire expanding is fine. I agree with that. If they wanted the United Empire to expand, that's totally cool. And could have worked as the story. It could have. But again, much finer execution, oversight, and teamwork was required for it to truly work. Exactly. Okay. Um, all right, so I'm going to pause here. Does anybody have any questions? If you are a first-time viewer, first-time listener, you guys can drop questions in the chat. You guys can drop questions in the comment section. If you're watching this on the VOD, if you're listening and or watching this on Spotify now has comments available. So any questions, you guys can drop it in, because for some reason over on Twitter, every AEW and New Japan fan want to tell me how it is, but don't want to show up to my live streams to like really have this conversation with me. MD. Listen, man, I chose yellow because I needed you guys to see this. They want drive-by arguments, not discussions. They all stink. Yeah, I know they want the drive-by arguments, which I never thought about it that way. See, this is why like I love the people that are here, because I'm like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. Drive-by arguments, yes. Do you think AEW sucks when it comes to booking people for New Japan? Yes. Yes. By the way, the second half of this, I guess the second half of this, but I will be, talking about how, stories could have been made. Let me see if I want to get some stuff from Twitter. What is AEW actually good at besides making me mad? Now, MD came in with a amazing discussion question. It's the best form of indie on TV that we know of. That's a really good answer for that. What is AEW actually good at besides making me mad? That is a very good question to ask the IWC. But I sit here and I'm actually trying to think about what is actually good about AEW. The first thing that I want to say is that it does give wrestlers jobs, and it does give wrestlers money to live from, which we can all agree that is a good thing. However, if you don't know how to utilize the big roster that you have, it's not going to go well. It's going to look very, very bad. What do I think about TJP? TJP is cool. He's a cool guy. I love watching him wrestle. I really do. I love watching him wrestle. Yeah, he's a really good guy. From like the one cool interaction I have with him, he's cool. But back to that question about like, what is AEW actually good at? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it in my notes thing. What is AEW actually good at besides making me mad? Okay, so I have that. So I have it right here. I put it in my notes. Because that is a very good question to keep going back and trying to figure out, like, what are they good? Like, we could go into the past about why we became fans in, like, 2019 and stuff, and be like, what was so good about it. But then now it's like you're trying to find stuff that's good about AEW, and I'm still not sure what it is in this current form. You know what I mean? Um, it's a good place to get. It's a good place to get handouts, not a place to grow your craft. That's the thing. It doesn't. That's true. It doesn't really grow nobody. Sucks that it feels like the talent's time gets wasted. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's true. But it's a smart way to secure funds for the future of your career. However, most wrestlers don't know how to invest. And, if wrestlers knew how to invest and grow their money in a very passive way, they'll be good. If anything happens, the AEW stink is what's going to be the big obstacle. Yes. I feel like AEW is good at torment. I think we all feel that, Um, that's exactly how I feel about it. Booking pay-per-view match cards until they go off the rails with CCW stunts. I agree with that to a degree. I might have to one day put, like, any feelings aside and, like, look at two different match cards from, like, 2019 and then, like, current or something like that. Um, what was so good about AEW? It wasn't WWE, and now that WWE is good, what legs do they have to stand on? They're struggling, dude. They're struggling. That's all I can say. They really don't have uh, the legs to really stand on at this moment. I mean, come on. I didn't want to bring it up, but this is what I thought about. Like, Chris Jericho is the Ring of Honor champion. Or is he TV champion? He's holding a Ring of Honor belt. And apparently, according to Uncle Dave, they're going to use that as leverage to get Ring of Honor on TV. Why would you use Jericho, of all people, to use it as leverage? Oh, he's ROH champion? Like, why would you use that as leverage? Like, isn't Ring of Honor supposed to be meant for, like, the younger guys as well? AEW is good for making memes. Yeah, it is. Uh, AEW standing on newborn Bambi legs. Nah, man, they're standing on old legs. They've been talking about ROH TV deal for like 3 years. Just show me the baby. Yeah. That's totally right. Okay, so getting back to the United Empire thing, right? Before we do that, Jericho is a name that someone might recognize, except that time no one knew who he was and was like, oh my God, I thought he was. What? Wow. Um, I don't like DG at all. And by the way, DG is man, I just don't I just don't like DG at all. It was the NBA overrun. Yeah, definitely the NBA overrun. Um, anyway, I only put the paint thing down because, like, I wanted to see uh some stuff. Uh, so it's Chris Jericho. So Chris Jericho's Kevin Nash probably. Okay, back to the United Empire, because if no one new has, like, any good questions that might need some clarification on stuff, I still did not do what I wanted to do, uh, which is I should um bring up, um like my Twitter and shit like that, but I'll read it from here. Um, okay, so I know I'm, like, jumping ahead in a way because I wanted to, like, do this in a timeline kind of way. Um, Let me see. Is there a... How do I... Do I make it bigger? No, that's not. Oh, that's not. So the eraser is the eraser, but I can't like take out the circles? Is that what it is? Okay, that's stupid. Okay. That is stupid. I'm gonna keep the United Empire picture up without the circles on them, without the onion rings on them, as MD likes to say. Um, but I wanted to try to do this in like a timeline kind of fashion, but I'm not gonna do that. So this here, right? This interaction here, where it is Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher and whatnot, and the caption says "United No More," right? Um, and I didn't like it because, first of all, you are trying to tell a story that doesn't make any sense, that is being forced, and the fans don't really know who Mark Davis is. If Mark Davis, well, not if, Mark Davis has been out for 2 years, and only now you're gonna mention on commentary that, oh look, it's Aussie Open's partner, Aussie Open this, Aussie Open that, but just mention it one time on commentary. Mark Davis gets a really cold surprise return. Nobody is reacting. The crowd is not reacting. And, they're bickering like little kids right now. And nobody in the crowd, as you watch the video, no one cares. And this is on a Saturday. It's not even on the flagship show. Like, because it's on Saturday and because some of these stories travel between Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, it does not do no wrestler a good service for that to happen. If you want a story to stick, if you want wrestling fans to be like, I am invested, I want to buy the tickets, I want to buy the merch, I want to be invested, I want to spend the $50 for the AEW pay-per-views, keep stories like this, even though I don't like this story, on the main show. If you have me flipping different channels for different days, I'm not going to do that. I'm already ingrained with it with like Raw and SmackDown, but Raw and SmackDown are telling me two different stories with their roster. And NXT is telling me a different story with their roster, which, by the way, I know I do say that like I shouldn't use the but WWE thing, but again, that supports my talking point for like, don't have one story such as the United Empire or any of the other ones go from Wednesday to a Friday to a Saturday. Don't do that. Your main show is on a Wednesday. Your network television is mainly gets renewed because of Wednesday, because of AEW Dynamite. They don't really renew you because of Saturday and Sunday, because Saturday and Sunday, the rate, I'm sorry, not Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday, because the ratings are so bad. But the flagship show is Dynamite, so that's why the network ends up being like, oh, we're going to renew you. Right? So I don't like that. So I said AEW is forcing a story that isn't getting over well because the story doesn't start on the right path. There is nothing from New Japan Pro Wrestling that can tie this story of Kyle Fletcher being upset with Ospreay and not giving a shit about his partner from Aussie Open. And again, nothing was established. If proper story structure was established once Kyle Fletcher left New Japan Pro Wrestling, and once Kyle Fletcher was going to be out for so long, there should have been a statement being like, hey, I don't know when my brother is going to come back to Aussie Open, but now I have to do things my way, and I am under the Don Callis family. That should have broken everything. And Ospreay should have never been involved. Ospreay should have never been part of it. Kyle Fletcher wants to be his own person. But no, AEW has this fixation and think that stories like I'm trapped in your shadow. I'm like second best to the best person there. They think that these stories get over. But they do in some capacity, but they really don't. So like there should have been an established disconnect between why Kyle Fletcher is going to go off on his own. He doesn't know the time frame of when his partner is going to get back. So he wants to start doing his own singles wrestling thing, and maybe something along the line they could come back together, be Aussie Open, or Mark Davis comes back and like does his own thing, but acknowledges that they were once Aussie Open and he gets it. And he never wants to have Kyle try to wait for him on anything. That would have been better. It would have been better. Hold on, because I swear, man, like these writers are fucking lazy. Where's my video capture? It would have been better if during the 2 years or maybe a year and a half, right, where Kyle Fletcher would have got on the mic and be like, you know, I'm finding so much success as a singles competitor in the Don Callis family, and the Don Callis family makes a lot of sense to me because for so long I've been such a very good guy in the world of wrestling. I followed everybody to the T. I did what I had to do. I even followed Will Ospreay's example to be a very good guy. But where did that get me? That's why Kyle Fletcher decided to jump to New Japan Pro Wrestling. By the way, I'm cutting like a little bit of a promo. This isn't his words. Just in case if anybody out there like, you know, wants to twist my words, don't fucking do that. So Kyle Fletcher will continue to say something along the lines of, this is why, insert Kyle Fletcher's name, jump to AEW, because the promise, the land of opportunity, New Japan Pro Wrestling was not going to give that to him. So he decided to do what's best for him, and by proxy, what's best for Mark Davis. Once Mark Davis got injured and he got worried and he's like, oh shit, who's going to take care of these medical bills? Are we forever going to stay in Australia? Like, we don't want to do this. We don't want to live out of our suitcases. So why not sign with AEW? And then signing with AEW, here comes Don Callis to be like, I feel for Don Callis, even though we could all agree that Don Callis is really not needed, like we could have had Gideon Gray also jump over and also be instrumental and create something new that is in the United Empire. Because again, once you leave New Japan Pro Wrestling, like you should not take the IP with you. You shouldn't do that. So I'm working with what we have, right? We have Don Callis here. We have Kyle Fletcher. And Don Callis should have went to Kyle Fletcher and be like, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. And, you know, come join my family. A year and a half in, Kyle Fletcher should have said something along the lines of, you know, I had a very good life. I was a very good person. I did everything right. But like Ospreay, you know, I'm no longer going to be in your shadow. I'm no longer going to be the guy that you want me to be, because I have experienced so much success with Don Callis, and Don Callis's family and mission aligns with, you know, how I feel right now, because, you know, I'm getting wins. I'm getting this. I'm getting that. I'm getting opportunities that, you know, you never wanted to help me with. So, you know, it's goodbye. Obviously, Ospreay is going to be like, you know, we're friends. What are you talking about? Don Callis is poisoning your mind. And this would have been a perfect time for Kyle Fletcher to be like, oh, well, the same kind of mind that got poisoned to use him as a manager to fight against Kenny Omega. You know, to say something like that, to that kind of effect. And then they're going at it. And then that's when Kyle Fletcher can start the betrayal. And then also say that Aussie Open is dead because Kyle Fletcher has found so much success and he no longer wants to wait for Mark Davis to be fully medically cleared. And if that were to happen, Here comes Mark Davis with a video that he can utilize social media, put up a video of him being angry and disgusted and being like, Kyle, I don't know who you are anymore. You really want to throw away everything for power and greed for Don Callis, knowing that Don Callis, like, you know, in the end, doesn't make anybody famous, like some shit like that, right? Because again, Again, Mark Davis has to come back as a babyface because he's been out for 2 years. And this is how you reestablish him and reestablish the connection between Aussie Open, United Empire, and like what happened in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But the bulk of that will be done by Kyle Fletcher, because in Kyle Fletcher's mind, he's done. But no, does AEW go with any of this shit to try to make it logical? No, because AEW is lazy. AEW writers are lazy. But I will say, if any representatives from AEW listens to this, you guys have my full permission to use it. Even though, like, I should say I should get a dime for the idea, but you guys need to help way more than me. You guys need to help way more than me, and I will give it as free charity, because it's really ridiculous that you want to try to create a story that nobody cares, that you're getting the information wrong, you're getting the history wrong, and no one is going to give a shit by the end of this. And then you're going to make it difficult for the people, for the United Empire members in New Japan Pro Wrestling that has yet to react to this and say something about it, or even travel to AEW and like smack these guys up off the side of the head. You guys are going to do damage to the history, but I'm going to be here to correct it, because that is what needs to be happening. So, like I said, Mark Davis will give a fiery babyface promo. And then you could also say that he went to go visit Ospreay in the hospital and be like, Kyle, you're a dead man. And then boom, there you go. Fucking story. But no, I swear, man, like if you know the history, like all of this anger should be on the shoulders of Kyle Fletcher. It should be, because it feels like he's been holding this for so long, and you want to capitalize on that. You want to direct a wrestler that, if he has all this burden on him, you want to direct him to be like, look, these are the talking points. The talking points is that, like, you know, Don Callis has done more for you than Ospreay, because Ospreay couldn't even get you a signed contract with New Japan, even though he tried. And he said he tried, but I, as the fan, have to take it at face value that Ospreay tried, right? But you know the personal history, because obviously he was there, the conversations were there. But if you want to make it like personal, which is the best way to create money, sometimes making stuff personal is the best way to sell tickets. It's the best way to sell merchandise, sell money, get people invested if it gets personal. But no, are they doing anything personal? No, they're not. We had a really bad promo by Kyle Fletcher, which I really broke down and really got angry about. We have Mark Davis showing up in a very cold surprise. And by the way, AEW does this all the fucking time. They do cold surprises. They do cold promos. They do cold openings. The fans do not react to how they're supposed to react. The fans are just there like, sitting there, because AEW fans don't understand what's happening. But yet AEW fans on Twitter would definitely tell me and tell other people that, if you want to be spoon-fed stories, go to WWE. Why do you think that myself and other commentators, and even the people that show up in my chat during these live streams, why do you think that we can have a conversation about the bloodline? Why do you think we can have a conversation about Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax? Why we can have a conversation about Bianca Belair, Jade, Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Naomi Bailey. Like, why do you think we can have that conversation? It's not because WWE feeds us this information on a spoon. It's not because of that. It's because it is logical. Yes, do they have faults? Every single storytelling aspect is going to have some type of faults, but it's not going to be, to the point where it is illogical like AEW. So you guys on Twitter and online need to stop telling that to fans that want more than just matches. Matches do not tell stories. For the outside storytelling of the story you're trying to tell. I know that's a little confusing. Let me break it down. In a wrestling match, wrestlers who are indie have forgotten how to tell a wrestling story that is in the ring. They forgot it. And it's very evident in AEW. They forgot the lost art form of how to tell a story in the ring. So, you can tell a story inside the ring, but AEW people have forgot how to do that. But a regular match, such as Kyle Fletcher versus Commander, does not help with progressing a angry story that Kyle Fletcher has a problem with. It does not push it. It doesn't do anything. All it does is it just gives another win, another match. What are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. By the way, fighting Commander is not going to tell Will Ospreay or the AEW fans that Kyle Fletcher is different from Will Ospreay. Nobody, I will repeat it. Nobody has ever said that Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay are the same. They are totally different. They wrestle different. They may dress a little bit the same, and that's only because of being a United Empire member. But Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis are Aussie Open first, United Empire second. And that is the only team in that group that you could say that. Aaron Henare is United Empire first. Great Khan, United Empire first. Jeff Cobb, United Empire first. Akira and TJP, United Empire first. Gideon Gray, United Empire first. Will Ospreay, United Empire first. Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher, Aussie Open first, United Empire second, because they came as a package deal. But again, AEW representatives and AEW writers are not going to know that, because what are they doing in these writer rooms? Nothing. They're like, oh, we could just do this to be fun. You know, when you make a story, you have to ask yourself, why are you making the story? What is the point that you want to try to get over? What kind of feeling, reaction do you want the audience to have? Right now, it's cold. Everything is cold. And I'm not going to sit here and allow AEW to destroy this on AEW programming without doing the proper storytelling for it. You know, it is ridiculous. Now, as I continue to read my tweet, by the way, United Empire in New Japan Pro Wrestling is still a faction. We still got them in New Japan Pro Wrestling. To say or question United no more implies that United Empire was only in AEW without giving history on where it all started. The United Empire started in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the same partnership that is still with AEW, and Tony Khan decided to buy up all the top superstars and leave New Japan Pro Wrestling with nothing, and that's wrong. But AEW and Tony Khan do not honor the starting point of where people come from, meaning where their wrestlers came from and all that kind of stuff. They want to take, and then give us bullshit stories like this, right? And what I don't like is that it's been 2 years. And if you knew that Kyle Fletcher was going to betray Ospreay, you could have gotten the fans ready for Mark Davis to return. So that way the fans can the fans can know who Mark Davis is, be reminded who Mark Davis is, and actually connect with Mark Davis, because he's angry at the man that Kyle became, and he doesn't recognize Kyle Fletcher anymore. And how many of you out there have had friends or situations where your friends decided to leave you high and dry for the greed, for whatever else, and decided to throw away friendships? We've all experienced that. So why not use that as a way to do this story? Because when you create a story in professional wrestling, you are drawing on experiences of human beings. You are drawing on experiences from like workplaces, ordinary stuff, even in like fantasy realms, tropes, cliches, and you're trying to tell a story and trying to help people overcome an obstacle. That's why I fell in love with WWE. That's why I fell in love with characters like The Undertaker and Kane and all those larger than life characters, is because those characters help you through obstacles in your life. AEW don't know about obstacles. Well, I should say Tony Khan doesn't know about obstacles, because if Tony Khan understood obstacles, we'll have a better story. We'll have a team. I gotta stay hydrated, guys. As I say all this shit to you guys. If Tony Khan really understood about struggles and about obstacles and about like basic human stuff that we go through on a daily basis, he will have a team to delegate for writing. He'll have a showrunner. He'll have everything in place that WWE has as a corporation, but to bypass any kind of, I don't want to say laws, but to bypass any kind of similar situations to WWE, he keeps it as a LLC for limited liability purposes, and not become a publicly traded company. Because he doesn't want nobody to know the finances. He doesn't want nobody to know anything. He wants to keep it all to himself. But again, because he started out as rich and has the inheritance money and everything else and everything at his fingertips, he doesn't know how to create human connection with the fans to create story. And it's all awkward. It's all cringe. And it's all like, yep, this is not going to connect with us. At one point, AEW was able to connect with the fans, but after the bullshit and after wrong decisions, it's like not even connecting, not even on a personal level or a personable level. There's a reason why like we always fall in love with the WWE characters, and we're always cheering them on, and we're always like, yo, this is wrong. Well, not really this is wrong, but like, we're cheering them on because we care. And I care about the United Empire. I care about the story being told. I care about AEW getting back to a place where they remember what their vision was. But I'm not sure if we need the vision of change the world in 2025, because WWE has already changed the world. So again, Tony Khan and AEW are behind when they have all the money in the world to be ahead of WWE. But this is a vanity project, and some of these talking points you guys might be like, oh, she's just regurgitating from other stuff. No, it's happening in real time. If it wasn't such a vanity project, they would have done something similar to WWE ID, but no, they didn't. They still have not opened their own facility to train people. People get hurt. People end their careers at AEW. And it's all for what? Just so that way Tony Khan can play in the sandbox with the toys that he overpays? It's very evident over the past couple of months that, well, just this year alone, it's very evident that, like, all this shit is a vanity project. It's for him to say that he did it rather than taking precautions and putting in foundations in place. But now this might seem like I'm just bashing the guy and like hating AEW, but that's not like what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like give you the perspective of like, we're all seeing this in real time. And it's frustrating because like, I was going to say Dr. White Chocolate here. The amazing Dr. WC, Dr. Wrestling Community, Dr. Wrestling Crew, said it perfectly that AEW fans don't want a conversation. They just want a gotcha drive-by kind of gotcha style, which I think I said it twice, where it's more like they want to try to get you on something rather than having a meaningful discussion. So again, you know, if AEW knew that Mark Davis was coming back, Mark Davis could utilize social media. How is it that WWE can utilize social media to push stories and make WrestleMania 40 the biggest WrestleMania there is by the use of social media and The Rock capitalizing on it? But somebody that's been hurt for 2 years comes back cold open and nothing. AEW and AEW wrestlers need to stop using social media as a way to try to clap back at the fan base that is trying to keep them alive. I do know that people just speak out their ass and people say some really disgusting, mean shit. I get that. And even some out of pocket shit. But if you are an AEW wrestler and you are utilizing social media to clap back at people, you're not using social media right. You are supposed to grow as a performer and get more money in and get more royalties in. But no, you're spending time clapping back at people. And it's like, if you have time for that, you have time to create a little mini video and say that, Kyle, I don't know who you became, sir, but I don't like it. And then when you do that, it opens up a bigger discussion on social media, more buzz for AEW. But no, AEW, all they want to do is just clap back at fans. Like, it is annoying. Because AEW wants to tell stories at the same time putting on wrestling, but at the same time biting themselves in the foot because they clap back at wrestling fans, but still tell wrestling fans to watch and buy the pay-per-view, but still yell at them. And because this happens the way that it happens, it really makes you damage goods when companies are looking at you. And they might want you to join the roster. But like, AEW, please slow down with clapping back at fans. Start making actual video postings if you want to. Push storylines. Stop having hologram. Stop having Commander be the fall guys to try to push a story that's not working. They do it all the time. You guys have them lose all the time. And it's like, what are you doing? Even Ishii ends up losing too when it's like convenient for AEW. Because AEW don't know how to utilize New Japan guys like Ishii and have him lose. But Ishii is still getting a payday, so I don't know. But, you know, all of those guys, like, it's so annoying. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in chat. I will read them. George, what's up? Thank you for joining the chat and the stream. Mike, what's up? Thank you for joining the chat and the stream. I just want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for understanding. Again, any comments, I will be reading them. I will be responding to them. They probably did send him back to Mexico, dude. They probably did. So I gave the history of the United Empire. I'm trying to find my other tweets. Because again, this one guy blocked me because I was explaining to him how like they're Aussie Open first, United Empire second, and he was really trying to go at me about like, oh, the story is about, Mark Davis. And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is that it's Aussie Open first, United Empire second. AEW forgets how this shit works. By the way, if you guys don't know, because I don't have it on my laptop, but this match that's coming up is a tag team match of Konosuke and Kyle Fletcher teaming up to take on Ricochet and a mystery partner. So I decided to like bookmark it, right, myself, because I want to see what happens on Wednesday night. Because I think that I might be right or not, but I said the mystery partner should be Mark Davis, one half of Aussie Open tag team partner with Kyle Fletcher and United Empire member. Remember, Aussie Open first, United Empire second. Since AEW wants to speed run through a bad story, I bet the mystery partner is going to be Ospreay. Ospreay will be cleared and then wrestle. So I think that the mystery partner for Ricochet is going to be Will Ospreay, but in this instance, it should be Mark Davis, just because they had the face-to-face not too long ago on Saturday. Hologram is injured. I just got told Hologram is injured. So, yeah. Is there anything else I need to go over about AEW and United Empire? If you guys are still with me, thank you so much. Let me know now in the comments, in the live chat, if I missed anything, if anybody has any questions. Because I think that I summed up everything perfectly until we have to come back here and do another state of the AEW, which is about the United Empire, which I should talk about the round table that I want to do very quickly, but I'm going to leave it up to anybody in chat that wants me to go over anything before I talk about the state of AEW roundtable. I gotta stay hydrated. No. 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 It is a round table, MD. Fact is, if any of our dads were Shad Khan, more than likely we would all be like Tony. It's just the money. You then need to surround yourself with people that know how to relate to life. Tony does not. Yep. Secret opponent would be the New York Giants. That's funny. Okay. I feel TK is trying to copy the Bloodline storyline with the United Empire. How so? I want to know. I'm intrigued. How is he trying to copy the Bloodline storyline with the United Empire? Tony was handed cheat codes without knowing how to use them. Yep. By the way, guys, if you have gotten any value from this live stream, whether it is the VOD or the live stream, or if you're on Spotify, if you're on Spotify, please make sure to head over to youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast, where you can hit that follow button, actually that subscribe button, be part of the family, and you can hit the like button as well during these live streams and chat with me on the live streams. So if you want to end up doing that, if you're over as a Spotify listener, for everyone else that listens, just join the family over here on the Square Circle Podcast. The Civil War type story. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I get it. Tony Khan could even dream of a storyline better than the Bloodline. MD, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. All right, so yes, you do your humor, which I really want. Like, I love the humor. So this is what's going to happen. I am going to wrap up the stream. If no one else has any other questions and or like anything to bring up about the United Empire, about AEW, cool. I'll give it a couple more like seconds just in case for everything to catch up. Because I do want to mention a couple of things before we wrap up. Okay, so as you know, I have been talking for a while about the AEW roundtable like discussion, which is still going to be happening. I do want to say thank you guys for giving me like at least time to think about it and whatnot, because I don't want it to just be some ordinary like roundtable where you get on the panel, you ask a bunch of questions. Like, no, I want it to be like a conversation in a way, but I want categories, right? I want at least, because I want the roundtables to be a series, right, where I have different voices, where obviously people who are in the chat, if you're up for that, you're more than welcome to come on. I will have like a whole detailed thing of like how you can join and stuff. Yeah, definitely nothing with me is ordinary. But like, if MD wanted to say something or G Coalition wanted to say something, I know that like, somebody else wanted to say something, like his name escapes me, but I want to do categories, at least like 3 different categories or 2 different categories maximum, to talk about AEW and like the issues that should be fixed. We could host it in my Discord, which would be a good thing, to try it out. And then that'll be like an exclusive, thing. I just like live streams because I could get people on, but yeah, we could definitely do it on my Discord. But I do want people to hear this. We could do it stages. Yes. Okay. It's going to be categories. I will uphold the rule of the but WWE rule. There will be that rule, and I would explain it in full of like what it means. We will be using MD's question from earlier, where his question was, oh yeah, dude, don't worry. I know how to do that. I know how to record in Discord. I have Craig in there, and then we could put it out later. That'd be a very good idea. We should do that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. What was I looking at? We are definitely going to have MD's question on this like roundtable, which is what is AEW actually good at besides making me mad? So yeah, we're definitely gonna have MD's question there. Like, that is a damn good question that can help the roundtable out. It could definitely help out, AEW, whether they want to hear it or not. But yes, we could record it in Discord, and we could definitely like send it out later. Yeah, we could do that. That'd be better. So if you want to join the Discord, if you want to join the Discord, you could join the Discord. So that way you can listen to the Discord space. Yeah. I wanted to like create a survey too. I might end up creating a survey as well. And I'll send a survey out just to get some categories. Yeah. You know what? Discord it is. But yeah, I just wanted to like put that out there so now I'm just thinking about like all the stuff. So again, if you have not joined the Discord, join the Discord. Why does TK think he can just destroy New Japan? Because that's what he is doing, in my opinion, taking all the good talent and barely giving back. That's exactly what I've been saying for the whole entire time. There's a reason why I have the best going video called the AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling Partnership. You know, AEW is great at having tech issues during the show. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. All right, guys, listen. Listen, it has been a fantastic Sunday. Like me sharing my Sunday with you guys, it's been fucking fantastic. Okay? Thank you guys so much for hitting that like button. Thank you guys for showing up and being in chat. Thank you to Black Metal Hooligan for dropping bombs in the beginning of this live stream where I just turned it on and he came in and dropped some bombs and well, YouTube, don't flag this. Like, he has some really good points because YouTube is sensitive. I love you, YouTube. Yeah, so he came in, dropped some like really good shit, and since then we've been on a very, 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 very good momentum. I can definitely say that we are getting closer and closer to YouTube partner. I cannot wait until we get to YouTube partner. I really appreciate you guys so much. I really do. I will always use my voice to talk about the United Empire, talk about wrestling. You know, if wrestling needs to be fixed, I will talk about it. If it doesn't need to be fixed, we can celebrate it. You know, wrestling is supposed to be enjoyable. Yeah. So I really don't know how these endings work anymore. I really don't. I really, really, really don't. MD, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. It is a W stream for me. W roundtables. Roundtables, yeah, will take place in the Discord. I will choose people to have different perspectives, and then people can hear it after it's done recording. And I just want AEW to succeed. That's all. I just want AEW to succeed. I want wrestling to succeed. And I don't think that's a bad asking point. Like, it really isn't. So yeah, by the way, thank you guys for showing up on a Sunday, spending time with me, hearing my passionate talk, hearing how I would have changed the whole entire script on Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, and Will Ospreay. I don't know if AEW is going to listen to this. If you guys can, share it out to AEW. Let them, let's make some noise. If you truly care about professional wrestling, like you guys say you do, and you know who I'm talking about, let's make some noise together. Let's change the industry. Let's make sure that like AEW gets to be better. Because if you guys really truly want AEW around, this is the start. This is the way to go. Tell them, hey, these stories need to be more logical. You got to hire guys with experience. Again, I have a creative writing degree and a publishing certificate. Just saying. Make some noise for that. For everybody that has been in chat with me the whole entire time, I will give you guys all individual love, but I love you guys equally. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making this amazing. And just so you know, in the upcoming days, I'm not sure if there's going to be any more like live streams. I have a project to work on. I have the roundtable to work on with you guys. And then this might end up being like just some mini videos. Who knows? But again, join the Discord and you'll get to know before anyone is up, before anyone else. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later. I'll see chat later. Just know you have been listening to a live stream version of the Square Circle podcast with yours truly, Marie Shadows. And I highly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next one.